A good teacher has to diagnose, okay? You have to diagnose, find out what the problems are, and then when you zero in on this particular child's problems, you have to be able to prescribe. Just like you write a prescription, okay? Diagnosing and then using the media as part of the prescription. And I think it's the only way we can go in education today. There's no other way, and I think the government knows, you know, they're putting the money in this, the local school systems know, teachers know, the kids know.
For these boys, the prescription was to use the short, repetitive demonstration of an 8mm loop to help them with some woodshop techniques.
All right, let's put the shutter on the shutter post, making sure the spring is facing you. Now find the little return spring in front of you. All right, now we're going to put that on the little post.
You know, I have a group that I'm working with now, and we got a bunch of these little cameras that are all apart. And what we do is, with one class, we put them together. And right now we're at the stage where this week, this group is going to be going out and shooting pictures in the neighborhood. Some of them are going to be shooting a lot of cars that have been junked, you know, in the village. So we'll take some of those pictures and we'll call up the director of public works and we'll say, listen, you know, we got some pictures of the cars. Hopefully the whole idea is those cars will be taken away.
Knife.
Knife.
Shelf.
Shelf.
Roof.
Roof.
Now we're going to deal with the V sound. La letra en B no hay en español. En inglés, V.
Olga Tagatak teaches ESL, English as a second language, to Spanish-speaking newcomers.
The vacuum cleaner is noisy.
Muy bien. Violets. Lisa. The violets are pretty.
The violet is pretty.
Again, the violets are pretty.
The violet is pretty.
You said elevator.
Elevator.
Vilma, elevator.
Elevator.
The elevator goes up.
The elevator goes up.
This classroom is structured as an open classroom in that each individual student works in an individualized program. They work either individually or in groups.
It would be 1,000, right? We've completed a cube now. We have 4 going this way, this way.
Carla Argosy, 7th grade.
The audiovisual equipment actually is more like a second, third teacher, whereas each student can be doing something different. And I can be working with a group in math when, you know, some other students are working in the science area and learning probably more than they could learn from me through professionally made film strips. So we have 2, 3 teachers in the room at the same time.
Rockford is a manufacturing city and farming center in northern Illinois. Mike Griltz teaches social studies in a suburb of Rockford.
Upon leaving the city of Rockford, one enters the Harlem School District. The people who reside in the school district are primarily blue-collar and work in factories in and around the Rockford metropolitan area. At Harlem High School, where I teach, the library has recently been changed to a learning center in which a wide variety of media is stressed. In my government class, the use of a variety of media has allowed us to completely individualize instruction. In this class, each one of you will be working individually, and each one will be able to take on the responsibility that he or she would like to. Now, to accommodate this individual progression, the course really is made up of several units. You'll have your choice as to what units you would like to study. Now, there are a total of 12 units, such as elections and political parties, law and the judicial process, political executive leadership.
Carols line the classroom. Students may choose not only units of study within the course, but also methods of study. Film strips, records, tapes, slide presentations, occasional films.
You may choose to use the facilities within the room or in the learning center. As we move along in this course, you will find several things happening. The members of the class will be involved in a variety of activities to accomplish their objectives, and they will not necessarily be doing them at the same time. Some will be working primarily with printed matter, perhaps because of habit or personal preference. Others may find that they get more out of recorded tapes and records or films, film strips and the like.
According to the report, this irresponsible nature of the parties was endurable during earlier times when the nation was not a major power and society was relatively simple.
Everyone puts his words together differently to get his meaning across, to communicate. Propaganda is a method of communicating with the goal of influencing others to do something or to believe something. Often, the propagandist intends to cloud meaning.
Most students, because they are progressing at different rates, will tend to be working on different segments of the course at any one time. On the other hand, some students may be working on the same subject at the same time and may even occasionally want to come together to learn from each other.
Herb, you mentioned earlier the Ten Commandments. Dr. Bales has a striking illustration showing how the communists actually reverse them. In fact, it's a striking illustration of what communist morality really is.
By taking the knots from their accustomed places and putting them in the other commandments, we can begin to see what the reversal of the moral law means.
The communist believes that his morals are superior to our morals because when he lies or steals or kills for the sake of the party, it's entirely moral.
I think a lot of the points in the film was pretty much propaganda, trying to build up people and persuade them to go strictly against communism.
Yeah, I think they could have brought up some more facts, and looking on the other side of communism.
Yeah, it didn't really show that much. Just 3 men up there running off with the mouth.
Yeah, it didn't prove anything.
Some students undertake special projects like this public opinion survey.
Survey, I wanted to ask you a question. Candidate A has charged that his opponent's wife is an alcoholic. Because of this accusation, which candidate would you tend to support?
Well, I think I'd go for B because A's just doing some mudslinging and it has no effect on B's ability if his wife is drunk all the time or not.
Thank you.
We've been promised delivery by next week.
Well, we'll be really pleased to get him. I'll keep my fingers crossed.
We'll try, Gloria.
Thanks.
Dr. Jack Wilt, superintendent of the Harlem School District.
Here in the Harlem School District, media centers and the use of media in the classroom have become equally as important as the traditional textbook. We've found the use of media in over the last 3 years has allowed us to reach more children and has had a very positive effect in that we are better able to individualize instruction, which is one of the thrusts of our district. And in the high school, we are able to reach non-readers. We've had a great deal of difficulty in our district with children in the high school years unable to read. And through the extensive use of media, we have been able to reach these children and guide many of them into a reading situation. Media centers and the variety of media that we use in our instructional process are deemed so important by our people that in any budget consideration, they would be the last to be eliminated. In fact, athletics would be reduced before this program would be.
Golden West Community College, a young institution, a new educational plant where new ideas have been put to work that may challenge older methods of education in America. Terry Heron is a student of nursing here.
The course objective for this week will cover the skeletal structures in comparison of the adult and infant.
Every week, our program is laid out for us on tape. We all start out together, but within about 10 minutes, we're all at different places. Some have rushed ahead, some take it slower, perhaps backed up once or even several times to go over something difficult.
Study slide 17 at 1,000 diameter magnification. Photographic transparency 17 illustrates what you should be observing with your microscope. The blood slide has been differentially stained to distinguish the leukocytes. You should be able to identify these in the slide preparation.
Sometimes I'm asked to work with my microscope. Through photographic transparencies used along with the microscopic slides and explained as I study them, my attention is focused where it belongs. The tape may also direct me to a workbook drill.
Look at the drawing on page 87, figure 4-29. Find the frontal suture of the skull and fill in the chart on page 89, following instructions on this page.